All right. So, the objective of the course is to render Power BI very useful for us all in our various specialty. We have agribusiness, we have project management, we have finance officers here, we have project managers, we have data analysts and database administrators, we have people who are into business. So over the past 4 weeks, we are going to exchange, and the course is very simple. Let's just follow through. We already have our data set that will be used. But if you have your own data set, you can still use it to practice. Because if we have our class on Sunday and Monday, it means from Tuesday to Saturday, you are free to practice. And you can practice with as many data sets as possible. And that is why I encourage all of us to create Kaggle accounts where we have to download these data sets, because on Kaggle, you can find as many data sets as possible in your industry. So we have a few guidelines that will help us. The first guideline is that we're going to note down, if in the course of teaching, if you have any question, you will note it down, you jot it down, and then we can, since we have 1 hour 30 minutes, we teach for 1 hour or for 1 hour 15 minutes, and then the remaining 30 or 15 minutes we use it to answer your questions, just so that we don't get into questions and then we divert from what the topic of the day. I believe this is going to work for all of us. All right. So the first thing we have to do is to create a folder called Power BI in our computer, and then we download these data sets, the Superstore dataset and the customer analytics. If you have downloaded dataset, please can you indicate? And if you have a challenge downloading or creating your account, equally indicate so we can assist, maybe in the group. You can use the React. You can react with a thumbs up if you've okay. If you've created we have Mr. Fabrice, Mr. Maxwell, they have all downloaded the Superstore dataset. We have Queen has downloaded. Okay. All right. For the others, do you have any challenge? If you have any challenge, feel free to get to me on WhatsApp so we can guide you, because we are going to be using these data sets. It is not going to be some sort of a monologue where I will just come and talk, but we are going to work together. When we see the objective and the guideline on our notebook, the notes I've shared, we will open the Power BI and practice it right there. And then it's being recorded so that at the end, you can equally go through the video, the session again, and then practice again. All right. So I want to congratulate those who have already downloaded the data set, and those who have other data sets that they are going to be using them to practice. And for those who have not downloaded, feel free to reach out if you have any challenge, so that we are all on the same page, because this is a continuous something. If you miss one step, you will not be able to follow the other step. That's the tricky thing in data analysis. You have to follow the process right through. Okay, so we've taken note of your objectives, and I'm glad that the data set we have here is Superstore and is more of a business data set. So most of us will fit into it. Yeah, for the one of us who is into agriculture, I think that it's not a big deal, because you still have clients and products. So it's going to be one data set that is useful for all of us. Because even in agriculture, in healthcare, you still have clients, you still have things that you render either services or you sell products to. All right. So I shared, let me share this other screen. I shared this data set, this Power BI dashboard. I hope you can see the screen. I shared this in a group, and the objective of this course is that this is a Superstore data that I already came up with some uh, key performance indicators, KPIs, right? So at the end of this course, you are expected to create a simple dashboard like this. This is a actually this is a report, but the word dashboard has been overused. So people call this dashboard because this is a Power BI desktop. This is a Power BI report. You should be able to create this at the end of this course, or something better than this at the end of this course. So this is Power BI desktop. I believe that the second thing we were supposed to do was to install Power BI in a computer. Again, if you have installed Power BI on your computer, can you indicate, please? So for the data set, we have just 2 on 7. No, 3 on 7. For the data set, we have 3 on 7 persons who have downloaded. If you have Power BI in your deck, on your computer, please indicate. We have Mr. Fabrice, we have Mrs. Queen, Mrs. Peya, and then we have Madame Scholar. Okay, that's 3. I think Mr. Maxwell has Power BI a long time ago, since 2020. Okay, so Mr. Maxwell has it. Okay, so we have 4 on 7. So Mr. Boris, I think you reach out if you have any challenge, so we can guide you on how to install Power BI. And Mr. Kawe, I think I got your name rightly. So I think if you have any challenge, you reach out and we'll be able to guide you, just so that on Sunday, all of us have our data sets and we have our Power BI desktop ready. Okay? All right. So for the course content, I believe you have gone through the course content already. And so we are looking now at Module 1. In Module 1, we are going to look at what is business intelligence. We can still look at what data is, first of all, just a refresher. And then we'll look at an overview of the Power BI ecosystem. We'll look at how to install, which I believe most of us have already installed. Power BI, I think 4 out of 7 is very encouraging. Very, very encouraging. Then we'll look at Power Query versus data modeling and versus reports. So Power BI actually has 3 pillars, as you can see, 3 big pillars that is standing on. You have Power Query, you have modeling, and then you have reporting. All right. So in Module 2, we're going to look at how to get data into Power BI. That's what we're going to focus on in Module 2. And we're going to work very much with Power Query. Yes, Module 2. Then in Module 3, we'll look at data cleaning and data transformation. I think most of us already understand that this is the way forward. I think a scholar may not be very acquainted with this, but then in Module 3, once you get data into the software, you have to clean the data, you have to transform it so that it be ready for analysis. Yeah. Then in Module 4, we'll look at data modeling, actually. We'll look at the star schema, how to create relationships in our tables, manage relationships, do cardinality and dimension versus fact tables. We'll see all of that on our star schema, and we're using our Superstore dataset. All right, then in Module 5, we'll learn how to write some data analysis expressions, what we call DAX. That will be in Module 5. So we'll learn how to use, it's not difficult, it's a little bit above Excel, because in Excel we have the sum, we have all these functions, all these formulas. But in Power BI, it's a little bit different. So we'll look at the most important ones that we can always use. There are many DAX formulas in Power BI. We cannot exhaust all of them. But once you know how DAX are written, you can always write one for whatever data you want to write for. So we'll see some of these. And then we can also look at advanced DAX, where you will see these calculate functions often, or average X, count X, things like that. Then in Module 7, I think this is what most of us want to see now. But this dashboard that I just showed you, we are actually going to build this dashboard by in Module 7. And that's one of the last things we do. And it all goes back to the fact that most data analysts, they rush to produce reports without proper data modeling, without proper data preparation. So even those who are still starting in Power BI, they rush to build a report. I made this mistake myself. When I began working with Power BI, I just went straight into building my own dashboard without taking time to properly understand data query, Power Query, and data modeling. So we're going to build this dashboard in Module 7. Yes. All right. And then we're going to look at other things in module 8, still the dashboard in module 8. Then in module 9, we're going to look at Power BI service. For this particular one, just to mention that you have to, in this one, you need to have an organizational email address, because Power BI does not, Power BI service is a paid service. It's just like the online version of your report. Once you prepare your dashboard, you can publish it online, and then other team members whom you grant them access can view that report. You can even give them permissions to modify some things. And that's what we actually call a dashboard. When you publish this report online, it becomes a dashboard. And then in module 10, this one we may have to look for a way to show ourselves how to do it, or maybe I'll just demonstrate it, because Power BI is so powerful that you can, once you build your dashboard, you can make sure that you don't have to come back to build it again the next time. If data is coming in from the source and it is being fed into the database, you can set data refreshes that after every 3 hours, I want Power BI to refresh, so that new data that has been put into the database, the result will show on this my dashboard that I have built. That's the power of Power BI. That's why it's called power, because you just need to do it once, and then you can only come back to update it if your company needs new information or new visuals, or they have new questions, and those questions are not answered with what you already have. You can come in to add another visual or add another page of your report. So we're going to see all of that. And in module 11, we'll look at tenant settings, monitoring refresh failures, because this thing happens. There was a time I put refresh and there was an error, and I received more than 100 messages into my email because of a data failure refresh. And then we'll look at the advantages of data, Power BI Pro, Premium, and Fabric license. Then governance and best practices. And then in module 12 is going to be the capstone, where you build this dashboard using this Superstore. You do your own and share. Or you can use the customer analytics data and build, or use your own data that you have. You must be a dashboard. In module 12, you have to be your own dashboard. And if you have an organizational account, email address, like addresses that end with .org, you can publish it to the Power BI service and set data refresh. Then for the bonus module, we'll see for people like Mr. Maxwell, who are data engineers, they should be used to Python. We'll see how you can link Python with Power BI, link Python with, Power BI with Azure, Power BI for financial analysis, Power BI for MIE. But in the course of our work, we'll be talking about Power BI for MIE. Since we have many MIEs in this forum, we'll be talking about Power BI, how it can be used in NGOs, and how it can be used in business, so that all of us can fit in. Power BI for human resource management. So Power BI spans across all industries, all industries. So that's an overview of our course content. And if there's anything that you want us to touch on that you have not seen in this course content, feel free to write me on WhatsApp, and then we can modify it because this training is a training of trainers. We want to train Power BI specialists who go and train others. All right. So after having an overview of the course content, let us look at our notes. So we are building we're building a some sort of a textbook, I can say. Some sort of a textbook. Just a few, let me check. A Power BI manual. I thought I opened it already. So we're building a Power BI manual. Where is it? All right, that's it. We have a Power BI manual that follows all of these, our course content. All right, so we just look at it briefly. This is a refresher for most of us. Most of us, this is a refresher because we are data analysts and we've been doing this before. It's a refresher for most of us. So in module 1, before we want to start using Power BI, let us have a refresher. Let us revise what is, first of all, data. What is business intelligence? Because somebody can ask you that you're a data analyst and you keep talking about business intelligence. What is data? What is business intelligence? All right, so maybe we can break the silence a little bit and then we talk for 2 minutes, right? So what is data? Who can attempt, who can tell us what data is before we go to data to business intelligence? Uh, Let me open the chat. Yes, can you put up your hand? I'll give you the floor. What is data? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you have the floor.
Collection of raw facts.
Okay. You have used a big keyword, raw facts. Collection of raw facts. Still raw. Yes. Any other person? Okay. If no other person, I think yes. Somebody wants to give.
We said the data is unprocessed facts.
Thank you. Another keyword,
I
unprocessed fact.
think that data is disorganized, disorganized facts, or yes, disorganized.
Okay, I think we're able to hear you, Queen, even though your network is breaking. Disorganized facts, right? So it all centers around facts or information. Okay, so that's basically what data is. Facts, jumbled facts, disorganized. At least we have some facts, we have some information. It is just information that is still raw. It has not been processed. Like Fabrice said, unprocessed. We don't know what to do with it. We don't know which conclusion to make from it. We don't even know where it's going to. That's data. So by the time we start breaking the data into small pieces, trying to unravel and understand it, look at patterns, look at connections in the data sets, looking at how it came about, where it is going, how it affects us, how it affects people around us, how it affects our business, how it affects our work. That is data analysis. No, when we begin to process it, that's data analysis. So I'm very, very happy because we're going to go very fast because most of us understand this better. All right. So now business intelligence is the process of turning raw data into meaningful insights that help people to make better decisions. So this is another way to say data analysis is what? The process. So it's a process. It's not a process is a continuous something that has steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And that's why we talked about data capturing, data cleaning, data modeling, and all of that. So you should go step by step. And what is the idea what's the goal that you have? The goal you have is to do what? To get meaningful insights that help people to make better decisions. Power BI answers the questions like, what sold best last month? And scholar, in your business, which product gave you the highest income or the highest revenue last month? Which customers are the most valuable? If you have 10 customers in your business and you want to give a prize to the best customer, who would that customer be? How will you get that customer? It's not by connection, it is by data. You need to know you need to have the data of the customer data, the customer sales data, and the customer revenue data, and then you are able to do what? You are able to know which customer has the highest number of orders or has ordered the highest number of products and which customer has given you the highest revenue. You may want to look at the customer who has given the highest profit because sometimes it's not the customer who has the highest revenue that has the highest profit, right? There are some products that they have more profit than others. All right. So where are supply delays happening? This is for those who are in logistics, right? Procurement. Where are supply delays happening? You are in the logistics department and you have to order goods to reach a certain point. But then it is not those goods are not, they don't reach that particular point in time. And you want to ask, or the procurement manager wants to know, where are the supply delays? Which particular part? Is it where it is being shipped? Is it in the warehouse where it is being maybe packaged to put in the container to be shipped? Is it along the way? Freight? Is it freight or freight? Is it along the shipping trajectory? Is it when you arrive the country? Is it at the port? Is it to get it from the port? Or is it at the level of distribution in the country? Where is it? If you are able to track it using business intelligence, you can answer questions like that. And why do we do all of this? It is to help our team to act faster and smarter. Because in the world today, it is the smart and the fast person that wins. If you are fast but you are not smart, you will not win. If you are smart and you are not fast, somebody will go ahead of you. So we have to be fast and smart. And in order to be fast and smart, we need to take decisions. And to take decisions, we need to use data. Okay. So how do we even answer these questions? You use dashboards like the one that we have here. I'll show you that. You can open this manual in your telephone so that you can also look at it as we are talking, right? Now you can look at it as we move along. So this is one of the ways in which we answer those questions, by having a report. And now the report has what we call key performance indicators, because you cannot carry all your data, all the columns, all the variables in your data set, and you put them where on your report, right? You need to select the key. I like the word, every word makes sense in data analysis. Just as we always say in monitoring evaluation, that every word has a meaning, especially in evaluation. Every word has a meaning. So in data analysis, every word has a meaning. Key performance indicator. It is key, and it shows what performance, and it is what an indicator. So it points to something, and we have some of them here already. All right. You see this average processing days. This can answer the question of the logistics department to know how long it takes on average to process the orders from when the customer places their order to when the product is being shipped to them or sent to them. What's the average day? That's the key performance indicator. Total quantity sold, total revenue, total profit, profit margin. People like Mr. Maxwell and Mr. Fabrizio understand, can explain this better because they're finance specialists. You know, then look at the various type of customers, where they're coming from, the time period, which year. You know, this is it. So these are the key performance indicators, and even look at the map to be able to use these bubbles. As you can see, this dot here, the bigger dot tells you which state gives you the highest revenue and things like that. So let us go back to manual. I think we are there. And we look at the core business intelligence concepts. The first thing is the data source. You cannot analyze data that you don't have. So the data must first of all be captured and kept somewhere, right? Before you are able to analyze it. So the data sources that we have the most basic and common data source is Excel. So the data is captured and entered into Excel. Maybe it was captured using Kobo Collect. Maybe it was captured manually on the field. Maybe it was captured using a Google form that went into a Google spreadsheet, a Google sheet. You know, that's is similar to Excel, right? Maybe it was captured and then inputted into databases like SQL, Postgre, you know, so all those big databases. Or SharePoint for those who use Microsoft Online, you know, SharePoint, OneDrive, Google Drive, folders online. So let us see some of the more examples of data sources. Let me show you. So if you come back to our dashboard, and then I click on File, and I go to Home, then we will go to Import. We'll go to home. So the various data sets that I've worked with. So this one wants to open a report. I don't know, wants to import. Let me get a new one. So it'll be easier to demonstrate from there. All right, perfect. All right. So if you look at this, oh la la, you will see select, it says select a data source or start with a blank report. You can start with a blank report or you can select a data source. For now, they show us what One Lake catalog, Excel workbook, SQL server. And then if you click on get data from other sources, you will see many other sources. Voila, this is it. I hope you can see. You can get data from Excel. You can get a CSV file. Our Superstore data set is not Excel, it's CSV. For those who downloaded it, you can confirm. It's a CSV file. XML, I think these are website stuff, right? Website files. JSON, you can get it from a folder. PDF, you can get data from a PDF. So Power BI can get data from many sources. So you can do what? You can explore these various sources. You have SharePoint folder, you have SQL database, you have MySQL, Amazon, you see that data lakes, so many data sources. And every day they keep adding new sources. Even from the web, you can get data from the web. If you have a URL, you can get data from the web into Power BI. Okay? You can get data from Azure, from AWS. See, from Databricks, a lot of sources. From Google Sheet. Did you see Google Sheet? This is it. So if your data was collected using Google Forms and then you export it to Google Sheet, you can import it to Power BI using this using a Google Sheet here. So we see a lot of them, so many of them. So those are the various data sources. And these data sources are the preference for data source depends on the organization. Okay, it depends on your company, it depends on the business. The large companies like Microsoft and Google, they may have to scrape websites to get data, and so they have web data. You know, government agencies that use visual cameras for security. That's what we call Internet of Things. Those cameras may be able to send that information directly to Azure or to AWS warehouses. And so Power BI can ingest the data directly from those ones. So it all depends on the organization you're working for. For healthcare, people like Madam Queen who are into healthcare, you can have an EMR. And that EMR saves its data in Postgre or in MySQL. And so Power BI can ingest the data from there. So it all depends on what your organization. If someone like the Scholar that you have your business you're running, you can collect your data using Excel. You put it in Excel and then you load it into Power BI. All right. So that is it for data sources. Then ETL. When you see most data analyst jobs, they will always say you should have the ability to do ETL. Extract, transform, and load. You also have extract, load, and transform. You can explore those ones. And what does this mean? It's not something very difficult. It's getting data into Power BI, passing through the cleaning stage, the loading stage. That's Power Query, right? So if you can use Power Query, just go and put in your CV that you can do ETL. It's not only for those who use Microsoft Azure and AWS. If you can use Power Query, just add in your CV that you have the ability to do what? Extract, transform, and load. Because that's basically what Power Query does. The data, it comes from a data source, and then the Power Query is able to extract that data from that data source. So it has the authority to extract the data, to stretch its hand and pick that data from where it was stored, And it doesn't just pick it, it has the power to transform it, to remove errors, to remove spelling errors, to remove blanks, to clean it, to delete some cells, to even add some columns, to put formulas, to calculated columns and all that. Power Query has that strength. And once it has done all the cleaning, you can load it now into your Power BI memory itself, into the modeling tab, so you can be able to model your data. So Power Query, those of us who are used to Power Query in Excel, it's not much different from what you have in Power BI. You know, in Power BI, they have increased the functionality. So Power BI is simply what, if you have used Excel and you've done Power Query, Power Pivot, and Dashboard in Excel, that's basically Power BI. It has just been expanded upon. So data modeling is actually Power Pivot, where you structure your tables and create relationships between the tables. And they keep mentioning star schema because Power BI lies on star schema. Star schema. We'll see star schema and we'll see snowflake schema. So we'll see why when you're modeling your data, you have to make sure that there's a table that contains what the figures, maybe the sales in your company, the various sales, the revenue that comes in, the profit, if you have it, maybe the unit price, the cost price. That's the central table. And then you have a table that has your customer. You have the customer name, the customer ID, maybe the customer region or where they do business. Maybe if it's in Cameroon, you can have the region or the division where they do business. And then you can have, you have their names, you have their phone numbers and all that. Then you can have a table for your product where you have the product ID, the product name, you know, and all that. And then now the central table now is where you have the sales. And then under the sales, you can say a product, right? So you have the product ID still there. And a customer can do what can can order something, no? So you can order a product. So you still have what the customer ID. So they are linked. But that table that has all those sales calculation things is your fact table. And the other ones are dimension tables. They just stand at the corner and then they can stretch their hand into what the fact table. That's basically what the star schema. It just look like a star. You have a central point and you have other things outside. They all link to the center. And then we have measures and calculations. So we're going to see this. You can create new columns like data will not come with a profit column. Never. You are the ones to add your profit column. Some data sets will come like this Superstore data set comes in and we will see the dates, the order date, the shipping date, and things like that. We may want to create another table called calendar that will help us. That's another dimension table because the calendar there has a date column, and then that date column, and then the data set you have actually has an order date column and what a shipping date column. So you can link the two. So the tables must always have something in common, what we call the primary key. You must always have that. So we're going to see all of this, the difference between a measure and what calculated columns and all of that. And we're going to use our DAX, which is called data analysis expression. So at the end of this course, you go to your CV and you adjust that you are able to use DAX. Because when companies post for these positions, they are actually going to have their software scan through your CV, and pick keywords like ETL, like DAX, Power Query. So when you look at their job description, you can adjust your CV to suit that. So then so there are actually 4 pillars. We have the Power Query. I can say 3 pillars because this visualization is something that's easy, okay? Once you have already done the extraction, the loading, you have modeled it, you have arranged your relationships on your tables, and you've done your calculations, it's easier to create the visuals. It's just normal drag and drop, and then you do formatting. Yes, it's just to drag and drop and you do formatting. Where is the... Share the other one. So this one All these ones, these are them on my right. You see all of these things, these visualizations on the right. You simply drag these things and drop, and then you just format. So this is more formatting if you know what you want to do. So the most important thing is not even knowing how to drag and drop, because it's easy to drag and drop. It is knowing how to do ETL, knowing how to write expressions. This is our superstore data. If you look at it, you will see that when you start seeing these are measures. Okay, this calculator symbol. When you see this one, know that these are measures. And then when you see this summation sign, these are what calculated columns. You know, we're going to see the data that has uh, figures on it. We're going to see all of that. So these are measures, and these are data that has numbers, right? So we're going to see all of that. Okay, let's proceed. We have 10 minutes so that we get into discussion. All right. So that is it for core BI concept. So if you have to retain anything from this core BI concept, you have to know how to do data extraction. That's using Power Query. Then you have to know how to do data modeling. That is using relationships between your tables or amongst your tables. And you need to know how to use at least simple calculations. This one, you don't need to do any mathematics. You just need to know that if you want to calculate profit, it is revenue minus cost, right? And then you just need to put in the formula and put the thing, is going to come up for you. All right, so that's not a big deal. Now, the Power BI is a Power BI ecosystem. That means an interconnection of devices, right? So it's not only one thing. We're going to focus on the Power BI desktop. So what you have installed on your computer or you will install is the Power BI desktop, which is free, and you can use it perfectly well to build your report. The only problem is that you cannot use it to publish a report online for other people to view. You must have Power BI service to publish a report online so that other team members can view it. But if you have to just prepare the report and leave it in your computer and then you go and project it in your office, Power BI desktop is okay. All right. Power BI service, you have to publish the result online and allow some team members access to view the report or to make comments or it depends on the level of permission you give them, right? Then there's also the Power BI mobile application. I think most of us know this already. The Power BI mobile application is used to just review reports. When I was working at CBC, I suggested this, but there were other things that were prioritized because what I suggested was that we build a Power BI dashboard for the whole CBC, for all their hospitals. And maybe we take key performance indicators like outpatient, inpatient, maybe eye department, dental. Those are key departments. Then we have the revenue, we have the profit, and then we have the dates. So that even the director can sit in his office, open his phone, tap on the Power BI application, zoom to a hospital, say maybe Queen Baptist Hospital, and see the revenue for that day, can see it for the week, can see it for the month, and can see it for the year. So that's Power BI, the mobile version. But it must be built using Power BI desktop. So you will have to, I think the view is there. Let me show you the view, mobile view. Then if we come back to our dashboard, if you look down here, you will see that we are on the desktop view. That looks like a computer, right? Now, if I click here, I open the mobile
You're
view.
not sharing, eh?
I'm not sharing.
Oh, it's fine now.
Okay, you can see. All right. So let me close this. You see how Pabe is asking me to sign in to my organizational, using my organizational email. That's just what they want. So I am on the desktop view. You can see desktop layout view. If I click here, it says mobile layout view, but I have not built anything. So you see that even though we have built visuals in the desktop view. The mobile view, this is the mobile view, right? It's still empty. But so you can auto create mobile layout. So I just click on it. They say auto create. I just click on it. Since I already have the Power BI, I don't want to enter my email address now. So you see that automatically it gives me some of the things that are on the desktop view, like category of product, the year, the clients, average processing. It just kind of puts it in a mobile view for me, as you can see. You see. So if you have to, why am I zooming this? Oh la la. So if you have to publish this, somebody who has a mobile phone can actually see the data by using the mobile application. But this one, it's part of Power BI service. So you must have an organizational account and you must create an account in Power BI mobile application and you must sign in. All right. So if I just change the region to center region, you see that the stop changes. I don't want to sign in because my organization has not permitted us to use maps. So if I sign in using my organizational account, I think Fabrice understand this. If I sign in on the account, I want to be able to have this map here. So that's why I'm using. I'm not signed in. I'm just using nothing like a tenant, a guest on Power BI desktop. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the desktop view. All right. So that's the desktop view. And so that's one of the part of the Power BI ecosystem. We have the mobile app. Then we have on-premise data gateway. So sometimes data can be collected and saved in a computer in your office. Okay. But you want that when that data is updated in your computer that is in your office, your Power BI report that is live should also update. In that way, you need to give Power BI access to that data set in your computer. And that computer, funny enough, has to be connected to the internet all the time so that Power BI service can always get that data. And in that way, you need what we call a gateway, right? Just like you build your house, there's a fence and they have a gate, right? So the data is in your computer because it's your personal computer. It's in a fence. So in order for Power BI, this Power BI service, okay, not Power BI desktop. Because with Power BI desktop, you can actually get data from Excel directly from your computer. But now, if you want that data to do what, that way each time new data comes in, you will not need to go and open Power BI and take refresh. Automatically, the data should be refreshed maybe after 3 hours or 4 hours. Then you need to use what? A gateway, an on-premise data gateway that allows Power BI service to connect to that computer. And that computer must always be connected to the internet. So we have on-premise data, and then we have the Power BI report server. We have Microsoft Fabric. For those of us who know about Microsoft Fabric, it's a whole ecosystem for business intelligence data analysts. So that one, it gives you the opportunity to have a data lake where you can collect all the data in your organization, whether it's from finance, from logistics, procurement, human resource, sales department. You can connect all that data into one data lake. And then from that data lake now, you can process it. And then you can use Power BI to prepare report. So Microsoft Fabric is like what? A house, an equipped house that has everything that you need there. So in that case, you don't need to write SQL queries to get it from SQL, Postgres. No. Everything has been channeled to what? The data lake in Microsoft Fabric. So that's also part of it, but this is now the advanced one that you can explore. You can explore, but we can look at the Microsoft Fabric window so that you see exactly what it is. So that's an overview of Power BI. I always say Microsoft choose their word carefully because, for example, Excel actually makes sense because the software itself is excellent. If you are used to Excel, you know what I'm talking about. So Power BI itself is powerful. It's a powerful business intelligence tool. So this is how you install it for those of us who don't have the chance to read all the messages in the group. This is how you install it. If you click on this link, it will take you to their website directly, and then you'll be able to install Power BI desktop from there. You can also install it using your Microsoft Store in your computer, but I prefer install from the website because the one on Microsoft Store will give you issues with updates, and it'll be very heavy since it's an application. But the one online is actually is light. So if you connect to if you just click on that link, normally you're going to have this website. I hope you can see. It's loading again. You have this website and it says download now or advanced download options. So you choose advanced download, and then you're going to download it, and then you install. It's very easy. Yeah. So you can choose English, and then if I click on download, it's going to download. So it is not something that is difficult. It's very easy. All right. So you download here and then you install it in your computer. What I would like to emphasize is that if your RAM is not up to 6 gig, please, you need to add it, because to run Power BI desktop on your computer, you need to have a good RAM. Maybe some of us have good RAMs, like 16 gig is good, but if your RAM is 4 gig, if you have a 4 gig RAM, please upgrade it. Just go to those computer guys, computer repairers, computer technicians, and say you want to add your RAM. I think it's 2,500 francs, 3,000 francs to add a 2 gig RAM. And that way, Microsoft Power BI will run smoothly on your computer. If not, you'll be very slow because it is a very heavy application. Okay, so those who have not installed, please ensure to install Power BI on your computer. So you download it and install it. All right, so we have, what time is it? 2 minutes to go. So we have seen this already, right? We have talked of Power Query, where you clean your data and shape the data before analysis. We've seen the data. We have talked about data modeling, where you create connections between your tables. And we've talked about report. I've shown you a Power BI dashboard or a Power BI report, that are using our data set. So the Power Query is like preparing your ingredients, as you can see what I wrote here. Then the data model is like the cooking itself. Are we getting? So preparing your ingredients, you have to extract the data, transform it, you have to load it. Then the data model now is actually cooking, where you cook calculations, create relationships, write DAX, create new measures, just to ensure that you can be able to drag and drop and get perfect answers. And then the report now is what is serving the food. That's why I was saying that most of us rush to serving food that we don't know how to cook it or to prepare the ingredients. So this course is more of Power Query and data modeling. Then when we go to the report, we'll just look at how to use good colors, good contrast, how to choose colors, how to put bold, all of that, which graphic to use and when, right? Because if you look at this dashboard, you will see that as not use only one graph. I use a donut chart here. I use a bar chart here. I use a column chart here. I use a map here. I use line charts here. All right. I use slicers here. And this one is a gauge or a gauge. Sorry, I use a gauge here, like a clock, right? Clock handle, which means that there's an end point that I want to get. For example, profit margin. For those who are into finance, you know that when a company has a profit margin of 20 to 25% is considered good standing. So if your goal is that your company should have profit margin of 20%, that's your goal, or 0.2, as you can see here. But these guys have 0.12 in the Superstore data, which is not bad. That's why you see this gauge moving. By the time it will reach 0.2, this gauge will be full here. And then we have these ones, slicers, we have them here. And then we have our drop down. These are the regions, these are the various products. You know, if you click on any of them, that's what we call that one is dynamic. If you click on any of them, everything changes. I think you can see that, right? So you can use this for your reporting. If you click on furniture, you see that the revenue for furniture, the profit for furniture, you see the state that had the highest revenue for furniture, that brought us the highest revenue for furniture, and then you see the clients of furniture. If you come back to product and you click on office supplies, so this superstore only has 3 products: the supply furniture, office supplies, and tech tools. Power BI, I don't know how I'll stop this guy here. Power BI wants me to sign in. Office supplies, you click on technology, everything changes. See, so it's dynamic, right? Oh gosh. The guy who says you must sign in, and I say I must not sign in. All right, so you can see all of that. I don't really know. This guy is forcing me to sign in. When I was signing in, this map would disappear because my decision has not enabled maps. Okay, so let's not spend much time on this one because we only see it. We only do it in module 5. So getting data into think module 2. Okay, in module 2 we'll start doing the practice. So we'll end here. So you get data, you can import your data. So we have seen it, right? We saw so many data sources where you can import your data depending on where it is. For the Superstore, it's a CSV file. So we're going to use CSV. And then once we do that, we'll take load and transform, and then you open Power Query. And then we have the modeling, visualization, and then we can publish it. So quickly, let us just load that data into Power BI, and then we end here for today. At least let's do one thing. All right, so I open a Power BI. I hope you can all see Power BI window, and add data to your report. Get data from another source because they have Excel here, SQL. You can paste it and then use sample data because Power BI also has sample data, okay, that you can use to practice. Very good ones, so you can use them. Since we don't have CSV here, I will get data from another source. I'll click this small line here, right? And then I will take text/CSV. Then I take connect. Then I will go, now it opens my computer and also. Then I will look for the Power BI folder. As you can see, I open it. And then once it is open, you'll see the Superstore, the Power BI, you see the Superstore data. Can you see that Superstore? Is it Trend or Customer Analytics? I think it's any of those. So if I click on the Superstore and take open, so I'm already connecting. You see, it's connecting. So Power BI is already connecting to the data, and then you see a preview. So this is a preview. It says superstore.csv, and this is a preview of the data that we have in the Superstore data set. We have the row ID, the order ID, the order date, the ship date, the ship mode, whether it was second class, standard class, or whatever. We have the customer ID, the customer name, the segment. The country is just one country. So it's a company that is in the United States. You can put Cameroon here if you don't mind. And then we have the city, the state, the postal code, and the region, the product ID, the category, the subcategory, the product name, the sales, the quantity, the discount, and here they even have profit. So we know how to calculate profit because there's no column here for what? Cost of products, right? For the cost, but we have just sales here. If there was cost, we will take this sales minus cost to have profit, but they already have profit. So you just look at it, and so this already extracting, okay? That's the ETL. Also, you see down here, it say load. No, you will not take load, you take transform data. First of all, when you click on transform data, you open Power Query now. And now in Power, you are now hooked to the first pillar of Power BI, which is Power Query. This Power Query. This is where we're going to do our data cleaning. So on Sunday, I'm going to do data cleaning here, beginning with module 2. Right. So that's it for today. If you have any question, please, you can ask. Thank you. And you can put on your video so that we can see your face. I think it's not bad, right? All right. So, over to you. If you have no question, you can just maybe give a word. Give a word. I see Mr. Maxwell. I would like to see the others. Mr. Maxwell, like you're in the US.
Yo, Papa, it's just a filter. Okay, just a quick observation. I want to appreciate you and your team for creating such a course, a quick way or hands-on to Power BI. I think it's important. Most of the times, we really want to always have these refreshers, but we don't know where to go to. So it's always a good thing to share knowledge. And from the introduction, it's giving me high hopes. Like for those who do not know me, I'm still with the Baptist. You left, I'm still there. I remember when you proposed this and they said you should work with Excel. So it's fine. Thank you for taking the initiative to tutor us.
Yeah, I'm honored. Thank you very much, Mr. Maxwell. Any other comment? Okay. If no other comment, then I think we can call this a day. I'll share the recording in the group so that, we can still, since we have the whole week, right, to Sunday, we can still go through and then we get ready for ETL next week on Sunday. All right. Thank you all for honoring today's session and have a great night and see you on Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.